It has been a horrible day for Donald Trump in the courtroom as he is getting smacked up left and right like it's Kung Fu Hustle. Trump is throwing a temper tantrum today, and it seems like it's only going to get worse. After Harvard showed him the door, he started kicking and screaming that he can do simple math, so why didn't they let him into Harvard?
A lot of the people need remedial math. Did you see that? Where the students can't add 2 and 2, and they go to Harvard.
But it wasn't just the university who won out today against tyranny. One of the many law firms that Trump lashed out at during his first round of executive orders when he took office, well, they just got a massive victory handed down to them by a judge. Most of the law firms that Trump went after ended up caving and gave him nearly $1 billion worth of pro bono legal work to be used however he sees fit, probably going after the many Stormy Daniels that we haven't yet heard of. Not all the law firms, though, succumbed to Trump's enormous weight. Jenner and Block decided that they were going to stand on business and fight back. You guys know what happens when you stand up to authoritarianism and decide to fight the bully? You win. Before we dive into it, I just want to thank you guys again for supporting us during our time in YouTube jail. You can never know when the Trump hammer is going to come down on us, so while you can, join Really American by subscribing, stay informed, and be part of the resistance. Trump's first flurry of executive orders were downright dystopian, throwing daggers at anyone who had ever wronged him. And by wrong him, I mean follow the law and do what's right. The reason why Trump targeted the law firm is because lawyer Andrew Weissmann, who you'll hear from in just a second, a top prosecutor who worked on special counsel Robert Mueller's team that investigated Trump and his connections to Russia in the 2016 election. Weissmann hadn't worked for the firm since 2011 and has been teaching at New York University Law School. That's right, Trump went after this law firm because they used to employ the guy who went after him for his Russia collusion. He can't stand that people were coming after him for buddying up to Putin in order to win the election in 2016. The executive order attempted to kill any government contracts with the firm and block any of the firm's lawyers from accessing federal buildings like courthouses, places that are pretty important for being a lawyer. But Jenner and Block weren't about to lay down and take it like those other legal cowards, although, to be fair, lawyers aren't exactly known for having a strong spine.
In one of its motions, attorneys for Jenner and Block write, quote, "The order threatens not only Jenner, but also its clients and the legal system itself. Our Constitution, top to bottom, forbids attempts by the government to punish citizens and lawyers based on the clients they represent, the positions they advocate, the opinions they voice, and the people with whom they associate." One of Jenner and Block's biggest sins in the eyes of Donald Trump, employing our colleague Andrew Weissmann, who worked on the Mueller investigation both before and after working at Jenner and Block. The firm, WilmerHale, also suing to stop an executive order signed by Trump on Thursday. It counted among its employees Robert Mueller himself. Both Mueller and Andrew Weissmann left their respective firms 4 years ago. As Jenner and Block notes in its lawsuit, it has done work for clients suing the Biden administration, just as it now is representing clients suing the Trump administration. WilmerHale represented Elon Musk's Twitter when it tried to block a subpoena from special counsel Jack Smith. What the Trump administration has found issue with are these firms employing their critics and their opponents having access to good legal counsel.
And fighting back pays off, as Jenner and Block were handed a massive victory today by a Republican-appointed judge, so they can't even use their classic Obama excuse. And this order was handed down in an absolutely scathing way. So let's dive into the actual text. So here's the actual opinion from the judge. These are his words. "In our constitutional order, few stars are as fixed as the principle that no official can prescribe what shall be orthodox in politics. And in our constitutional order, few actors are as central to fixing that star as lawyers." This case arises from one of a series of executive orders targeting law firms that, in one way or another, did not bow to the current presidential administration's political orthodoxy. Like the others in this series, this order, which takes aim at the global law firm Jenner and Block, makes no bones about why it chose its target. It picked Jenner because of the causes Jenner champions, the clients Jenner represents, and a lawyer Jenner once employed. Going after law firms in this way is doubly violative of the Constitution. Most obviously, retaliating against firms for the views embodied in their legal work and thereby seeking to muzzle them going forward violates the First Amendment's central command that government may not use the power of the state to punish or suppress disfavored opinions. More subtle, but perhaps more pernicious, is the message the order sends to the lawyers whose unalloyed advocacy protects against government viewpoint becoming government-imposed orthodoxy. This order, like the others, seeks to chill legal representation the administration doesn't like, thereby insulating the executive branch from the judicial check fundamental to the separation of powers. It thus violates the Constitution, and the court will enjoin its operation in full. In conclusion, the judge writes, Jenner raises many more claims of unconstitutionality. These present interesting, difficult, and potentially meritorious questions about the scope of presidential power and more. What has been said here of the First Amendment, and in passing the Fifth and Sixth, however, is sufficient to declare Executive Order 14246 unlawful and enjoin its operation, eliminating the need to explore those other questions. Jesus, just on the one argument of the First Amendment violation, the judge is throwing this out. He doesn't even want to look at the argument against the Fifth and the Sixth. So the court need not break new ground. Executive Order 14246 violates settled First Amendment law, and its operation must be enjoined in full. Jenner's motion for summary judgment is granted. The defendant's motion is denied. Now, the lawyer in question who used to work for Jenner and Block, Andrew Weissman, who got them into trouble here, perfectly sums up the conclusion that I came to about the curious timing between this order and the Harvard one.
Andrew, almost the bookend of the last question I asked you. When judges evaluate the lawfulness or unlawfulness of these executive orders, how will they rule? In this case, they ruled that the executive order targeting your old law firm was illegal.
Absolutely. I mean, what I love about this breaking news is it allows people to connect the dots. Retaliatory action that's alleged with respect to what the administration has done with respect to Harvard, that has been preliminary enjoined. Why? Because of the First Amendment and procedural violations that are alleged there and preliminarily found by the court. And now, the same day, you have a federal judge in D.C., a very well-respected judge, permanently enjoining again. And what is the main ground? First Amendment violation. And so you're going to see this over and over again. And so it's really important for people to see this not as isolated, but this is sort of remarkable. The United States government repeatedly being found to have violated the First Amendment in really significant ways, attacking a major law firm, a series of major law firms, and Harvard University.